Creating a profitability breakdown for a wedding and event planner involves considering various revenue and expense factors. I'm going to share some tips on pricing your wedding and event planning services. First, you want to determine what your hourly rate should be according to the amount of money you need to pay for your living expenses. Your hourly rate should be based on your experience level, your demand of services. If you are in high demand, raise your prices, and your location. If you are not sure what planners are making in your area, you can research competitors' pricing to ensure your rates are competitive yet profitable. You'll also want to charge higher rates for peak wedding seasons, the complexity and scale of the event, and for specialized services. Please be sure you're pricing accordingly and not treating your business like a hobby. It's really important to understand how to price your services. When I started out, I made a negative $57 an hour. That's right, negative $57 an hour. I don't want you to make those same mistakes I did when I started my business. So please be sure that you know how to price your services. So let's talk about revenue. Revenue includes charges for planning and coordinating the event. It could be a flat fee, percentage of total wedding or event budget, or hourly rates. Offering packages that include various services like the venue coordination, vendor management, etc., is another option in pricing your services. There are extra services that you should be charging for, such as decor design, day of coordination, rehearsal dinner, or post-wedding brunch arrangements. If a sleeping block is needed, please be sure that you are requesting a 10% commission from the hotel on the sleeping room block. If you are not getting a commission on the sleeping room block, you are leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table. You can also receive commissions from standalone venues and vendors, which can add up to a lot of money in your pocket. Another way to make a profit is to mark up the costs of your staff. Okay, so let's talk about expenses to consider. You want to think about your staff, the salaries and payments for a virtual assistant, a coordinator, managers, or other staff members when putting your proposal together. And again, you want to do a markup on this if you are, so you can make a profit. So marketing and in advertising, costs for promoting your services, maintaining your website, social media advertising, email providers, etc. There's some fees that you're going to want to consider putting into your marketing. So office expenses, if you have rent, utilities, office supplies, software subscriptions for planning tools, and communication costs. Also, travel and transportation, costs for site visits, vendor meetings, and day of event travel. However, these are costs that should be getting reimbursed from the client if they pertain to their event. So be sure that you are expensing those costs back to the client. Insurance and licenses, be sure that you have business insurance and any necessary professional licenses. Important to have insurance, and also make sure that your client has event insurance you can get day of. But as a planner, if you're doing multiple events, you should have business insurance, professional and liability. Also, you don't need to get insurance until you have your first event. So don't go and get a policy if you haven't started doing any events yet. You can also, usually the policies will start the day of. You can do it the day before the event, and it goes into effect immediately. Miscellaneous expenses, unexpected costs, contingency funds, things like that. You want to consider any miscellaneous expenses and add that into your expenses. You also want to be sure that you're making a profit. How do you determine how to do this? You take your total revenue, which is the sum of all revenue streams, which I discussed, minus your total expenses. This is the sum of all the costs, and this will give you your profit. You need to take the client budget into consideration as well. Understanding the client's budget is crucial for proposing a realistic and profitable service package. You want to determine right up front if this client is a good fit for you, and that starts with the budget. You don't want to waste your time putting together a proposal to find out they are not realistic about what it's going to cost for their event. It takes time to learn how to price your services accurately, but the best way to learn is to track your time. There are many apps out there that can help you track your time. We use Hours Keeper, or just go old school and track your hours on a piece of paper or in notes on your phone in the notes section, okay? You want to be sure that you are regularly reviewing your costs and your revenue. Regularly review and adjust our pricing structure based on profitability analysis. Keep a tight control on your expenses to maintain your profitability and ensure you have a steady cash flow to cover expenses and maintain business operations. It's extremely important to have clear contracts in place. I can't say this enough, that detail your services that you're providing, payment terms, and other important aspects. So outline your services in your contracts and make sure that you put in there what you're going to provide and what you're not going to provide. That's really important. If you're not going to be doing the registration piece of your event, you don't want to include it, and you want to put in there that the client is going to cover these specific areas, right? If they're providing a certain amount of staff and you've made that agreement with them and they've said that they have a staff to help out with their event, make sure that you put that in your contract, okay? Remember, providing exceptional service, customer service is everything, all right? So providing exceptional service can lead to upselling opportunities and referrals, which can increase your future revenue. Okay, so this breakdown provides general framework. Keep in mind that these specific details will vary based on your location, the scale of the events, your experience, and where you live and the market conditions. If you thought this was valuable information, please like and share it. If you'd like to dive deeper into how to price your services, please join us over at my Facebook group at Event Planner Society, where we help you launch, build, and grow a successful wedding and event business.